Sam Raimi, Mr. Sam Raimi, he is in final talks to direct Doctor Strange 3. Now, this is coming to us from Jeff Schneider, the Insider. Look, Jeff's right with a lot of things. He's been wrong on some things, but he's mostly right with a lot of things. A thing I can think of recently is the Spider-Verse stuff that he was wrong on. Now, I believe he was told that, and I believe he trusted his source, but kind of turns out that were some misinformation. But still, this is very believable anyway. Sam Raimi being in talks to direct Doctor Strange 3. Kyle, do you like the news? Yes or no? Do you want to see Sam Raimi return for Doctor Strange 3? Maybe get a bit of redemption from that first one. Maybe get a different writer involved to help him out with it a bit instead of Michael Waldron.
Look, so I'm a big Sam Raimi fan. I absolutely, love the Spider-Man trilogy he did.
You never mentioned it,
including the third one.
You've never mentioned that.
So, I was really excited. I was really looking forward to Raimi coming back, stepping back into the Marvel world, and doing something very different with Doctor Strange. But for me, I really enjoy Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness as a film. I just don't think it really did well for the overall sort of thing that they wanted to do with the whole multiversal stuff. It just kind of felt very lackluster in a film that's titled Multiverse of Madness. And yes, I know it's just the title, but with how far that they were taking the multiverse, how far they already took it with having, Toby's Spider-Man come back, Andrew's Spider-Man coming back, it was like they've pushed it now. Raimi, you can just push it to anything you want. And it felt like they just kind of played it very, very, very safe, which I didn't really understand.
If anything, Deadpool and Wolverine was more of a multiverse of madness. Went to more universes. Was more madness. Have you seen the deleted scene for Deadpool and Wolverine where he asks Paradox says something to Wade? Yeah. And he goes, of course I've seen Ant-Man and the Multiverse of Madness or something like that.
I think he said something along. So I was disappointed with Multiverse of Madness, though. Don't get me wrong. I was disappointed, but I loved the style. I loved what Raimi brought to it.
Yes, the action behind the camera.
Yeah. The way it looked as well, it looked very unique for a Marvel film. Quite dark. So I'm all up for this, especially now with Marvel, shifting things about, fixing things, having some, getting Kevin Feige really more involved with it, and having a plan as well.
Yeah.
So for me, I think this will help Sam Raimi as well. I'm not putting all the blame to Sam Raimi for that film, but it was definitely, I'd say it was in a weird position for Sam Raimi to step in and do a film, because if he did the first one, maybe he's a bit more familiar with how this world works, things like that, and the sort of the expectation people sort of had for this film, especially.
Yeah.
I think it would have been a bit better, but we work with what we got, and I'll say this, I am, since Marvel have been rejigging some things around, I am definitely more excited now for Raimi to come back.
Yeah, look, me too. It's, like we've said for a long time, we are getting very close to that Marvel's make it or break it year now. 2025 will be the decider of all. It'll be, can they pull themselves out of the mess that they've got themselves into? But, how bad you think that mess is completely up to you. But look, Raimi coming back, I've been on board for this for a long time. I loved Raimi's direction in the first one. Like you, I love how the film looked, which is another thing I said about Joker 2. Joker 2 was shot beautifully. And just how he wanted the camera to move and stuff like that. So I kind of want him to get the same cinematographer who we had for Multiverse of Madness back in with him for Doctor Strange 3. Obviously, he was setting some things up with Charlize Theron's Clear. Kind of want to see where that goes. But I just think we need to get him with a different writer. And maybe have him a bit more involved from the beginning, from the inception of the story. Because he jumped on to Multiverse of Madness. I think some of us forget that Scott Derrickson was supposed to return for Multiverse of Madness, and then he left because they were changing the project. And then Sam Raimi kind of came on as a hired hand. I'd kind of want Sam Raimi to be the man kind of leading the ship.
I'll say this, after you saying that, I definitely think Sam Raimi is the one who, somewhat saved this film a little bit.
Yes, definitely.
So I'll thank him for that, and he had to work with what he had. Again, I'm not blaming really Sam Raimi at all. It was really weird circumstances where he dropped into this franchise and film. So, but hopefully now going into the third one, things are planned out a little bit better. Marvel's, going back to its roots, for the MCU at least, having things that more sort of making sense, having a bit of connectivity, having some rules from the multiverse finally, even though the multiverse is literally about to end soon. So, yeah, I'm quite looking forward to it. I'm more so now than I was before. If you said this to me before, when Marvel was still
which we
going
have said
down
this
that
to you
hill,
before, and you haven't been on board before, and you can tell now with Deadpool and Wolverine, and Marvel had its big week in July with Deadpool and Wolverine coming out, and then all the Comic-Con stuff. That was the announcement of we are back, baby, trust us. And a lot of people have jumped back on board. It's just, can they carry that hype now to be, we are number one and we never left sort of thing.
Yeah.
Don't call it a comeback. You know what I mean? But you never know. Like I say, I've got massive hopes for next year. Am I setting myself up for disappointment? Maybe. But I don't think there's anything wrong with us two having faith that this thing that we love is going to get back to what we loved it for. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. No point in me sitting here for fucking a year going, Marvel sucks, Marvel sucks, Marvel sucks, and then they bring something out that I like, but because I've built an audience on fucking saying Marvel sucks, I can't say I like it. So
Star Wars is dead. Watches another one.
that was good. That was
That was great.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm excited for this if it's true. With it coming from Jeff, I'm kind of expecting it to be somewhat true, and this is a very believable story anyway. So, and Sam Raimi said he'd do it as well when asked. So I don't see why there wouldn't be any truth to this. I think it makes the most sense with where Marvel is right now. Anyway,